Once upon a time, in a small village near the Great Savannah, there lived a young girl named Ranola. Ranola was known for being adventurous and full of curiosity. She loved to explore the vast fields and forests that surrounded her home. Her parents, who loved her very much, always gave her careful instructions. Ranola, they would say, do not wander too far into the forest, and always return before the sun sets. The world is big, and you must be careful to stay safe. But one sunny morning, when Ranola went out to play, she saw a path that she had never seen before. It led into the deep, mysterious part of the forest where the tall Iroko trees stood. The trees seemed to whisper to her, inviting her to explore. Ranola was curious and thought, what harm could there be in exploring just a little further? Ignoring her parents' warning, Ranola decided to follow the path. After walking for a while, Ranola found herself in a beautiful part of the forest where 3 enormous Iroko trees stood. The trees were ancient, their trunks thick and strong, and their leaves formed a canopy that blocked out the sun. Ranola marveled at how grand they were. The first Iroko tree had a hollow in its trunk, and Ranola peeked inside. There, she found a comfortable bed made of soft leaves and flowers. This looks so cozy, Ranola said to herself. But when she lay down, the bed was too small, and she couldn't fit. The second Iroko had a larger hollow, and inside, she found a bowl filled with sweet-smelling fruit. Ranola was tempted and thought, I'll just have a little bite. But as she reached for the fruit, a deep voice echoed. Not yet, young one. This fruit is not for you. Ranola jumped in surprise, but her curiosity was stronger than her fear. She moved to the third Iroko tree. Its hollow was filled with sparkling water. Ranola, now feeling thirsty after her long walk, knelt to drink. But just as she was about to touch the water, the wind around the trees began to stir, and a voice, louder this time, said, You should not be here, Ranola. Return to where you belong. Ranola felt a shiver down her spine. She knew she had ignored her parents' instructions, and now, the forest was warning her. But it was too late to turn back easily. Suddenly, the Iroko trees began to shift and move. Their large branches reached down, blocking Ranola's way out. She was trapped. The wind grew stronger, and the deep voices of the trees spoke together. We are the Irokos of wisdom, and you have entered our sacred grove without permission. You were told to stay close to your village and heed your parents' advice, but you did not listen. Ranola, now frightened, realized her mistake. She knelt before the trees and said, I am sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect your sacred grove. I should have listened to my parents. Please, forgive me. The trees were silent for a moment, then one of them spoke gently, We will forgive you, Ranola, for you have admitted your mistake. But you must remember this, the wisdom of your parents is like the roots of a tree, grounding and protecting you. Without listening to them, you can lose your way. With that, the trees slowly moved their branches aside, creating a clear path back to her village. Ranola thanked the Irokos and promised to always listen to her parents' guidance. Ranola hurried back home just as the sun was beginning to set. Her parents were waiting for her, worried and anxious. Ranola ran to them and hugged them tightly. "I'm sorry for not listening to you," she said. "I wandered too far into the forest, and I realized how dangerous it can be. I promise to always follow your guidance from now on." Her parents smiled and embraced her. "We love you, Ranola, and we only give you advice to keep you safe." From that day on, Ranola never strayed from her parents' instructions again. She grew up knowing that listening to the wisdom of those who love you is the key to staying safe and making good choices in life. Listening to parental guidance is like staying rooted in the earth. Just as trees need strong roots to grow tall, we need the wisdom of those who care for us to help us navigate life's challenges. Trust in their guidance, and you'll find your way safely.